All right. So we are watching DRCT. It's been really choppy pre-market. I'd say like it's wanted to break this level several times, five, but it's having such a hard time holding above. Right now, it seems like it's so easy, like it's breaking like nothing. But I'm gonna wait for this to set up because I missed this move. I was here the entire time, but all of a sudden, I get the rumblies, right, and I gotta go. So that's why I missed this opportunity, but that's okay. See, we're getting our first pullback here. I'm trying to open up my stream. So I'm probably gonna miss this move too, just because I'm trying to set up my Twitch thing, and I missed it. So, Jesus. Okay, cool. Let's check out ADGI as well. ADGI was also on our watch list, but this one's breaking lower is what it seems like. So DRCT is the only one that we have on watch that's making moves here. Two major moves already. Could have bought the dip the market open, and then also this dip here for this rip all the way to 530 now. So let's see if I can get in on this micro pullback. I want to see sideways consolidation if anything. So if it breaks this high, I don't even mind. As long as it pulls back here. That's what I'm going to wait for, is a pullback. I'm not going to buy this high. Seems like it's getting a little top heavy up here already. It's 45, never mind, take that back. Back down to 25. From 45 down to 25. Back down to 15. Should I wait for the next two candles for the 5-minute setup? Because it's pulling back. We're 3 minutes in. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Wait for this minute to pull back some more. Maybe even pop up, and then wait for this last minute where the 5 minutes gonna be to pop back up here. I could buy this dip at 510. But I'm kind of worrying if it's going to break 5. Let's see if it can hold this range here. I'll probably get it on the next 1 minute for the break over 550. I want to make sure I'm not catching the back end of the move here either, though. So it's coming down 13. We're going to hit 10 and then 7, 3, and then 5. There's 10. 4, 3. Pop back up there. Okay, well, this last 1 minute here is going to be the deciding factor. Apparently, it did break below 5. If this one can break this high, that'd be great. So there's 26. It needs to break 28. There's 28. Big seller at 30. So there, it broke its high. Let's see if it can hold it, though. So the next 5-minute opens. 5-minute high here is 45. So I'm gonna, I want to get filled here at 25. See if I can. So I got filled there at 25. I'm looking for the break on the next 1 minute. I'm taking an early entry, maybe a little too early. I should have waited a little longer here. I'm gonna be looking for the break of the next 5-minute high. So yeah, a little too early on my part here. Popping back up to 23 here. 22. So there's 25, 28, 29. Can we see 30? As soon as it breaks this 1 minute low, I'm for sure out. So stopped out there. 20-cent loss. I'm gonna wait for the next 5 minute again. So definitely took a little too early of an entry there. I hope this isn't just pop back up and then rip through 540 or something. That's gonna kind of suck. Stopped out for nothing at that point. So okay, so now it's just sideways here at 528. We've tapped this level several times already, and now it's kind of just stuck here in this little range. It pulled back, but it hasn't made a lower low yet. So we got this line here. Well, I can't even draw the line. Jesus. So I'm gonna wait for this next 1 minute to set up. If this one rips here without me, then it rips without me, but I could buy at 520, or I could have bought at 520, but just gonna wait it out. I'm gonna buy here at 22. I'm gonna look for that next 1 minute candle to break this high and rip through 540. There's 25 getting bought up, 27. Get the break of 530. There it is. Sold there at 534. Or I mean, yeah. Man, that sucks. Well, quick rip and then huge drop there. So I was gonna say I should have held a little longer, maybe for the break of 530. I mean, 540, but I got a 10-cent pop, I guess, and that was a nasty rejection there. So a 20-cent loser and then a 10-cent winner, or 11-cent winner, my bad. So we're still down on the day, just because that initial trade. So massive rejection there. That's kind of disgusting. Now this one's gonna be done for a while, I suppose. Let's go to ADGI. ADGI is another one that we had on watch. So far we have a pullback here is what it's looking like, but let's see if it can hold these levels. So far it is. If this can pop up to 65, we can potentially see the next 1 minute rip to 70 here. I'm gonna go ahead and take an entry is what it's looking like. Wait for a micro pullback. Should have gotten in there at 60 a long time ago. So I hit the trigger there. Let's see if we get a rip to that new high, 580. So I'm in at 570, looking for 580 here. As soon as I saw that seller stacked, I'm going to stop out my position here at 664 or 562, I guess. Saw a huge seller stack there at 70, and I knew like I had to exit out because no way. So false break. 8-cent loss there, so definitely still down on the day. Shit, like I said, I should have gotten a long time ago. A long time ago. So both of these stocks are kind of just flops at the moment. I don't want to say totally flops. Like DRCT actually did something, but I couldn't capitalize on either of these moves. ADGI, I mean, it was doing pretty good here, but it just had a false break, and I kind of suspected that just because it was there was a, I guess, double top here already, pretty much. And so once it hit this high again, I was like, it would really need to rip through 580 for this thing to I guess make a move towards view out, but As soon as I'd seen that big seller there, I just sold immediately. I wasn't even gonna try and make this thing happen. And this one's, oh man, that sucks. I didn't even realize this one's easy to borrow. So we got a pullback on the 5 minute, and now we're breaking down again. Pullback on the 1 minute, bigger flag here is what it's looking like. Now the 10-minute low is breaking. Let's see if we get a second flag or second wedge so we can take another entry. But we're gonna take it to the short side. ISIG is also popping on the scans here. This one seems a little choppier, so I'm not gonna bother trading this one. DRCT, this one's popping back up. Coming into major resistance though. We already have another pullback here. So let's see. Let's see if we get the break of 5 here. It's 502, 5. It's holding 5 pretty well. In order for this to continue the downtrend, it needs to break 5 and hold below 5. So far, it's still holding at the level though. I guess I was completely wrong on ISIG. This one's making big moves now. So let's swap over to ISIG while the other one's set up. I'm gonna need a pullback on this one though. So there's our pullback. Spreads are really big. 20-cent spreads just about. There's quite a pullback there. That was 40-cent spread there for a second. For me to want to take this trade, I think I'm gonna have to wait for the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna wait for this candle to pull back. Maybe we could see a 2 candle pullback, but at least some sideways consolidation. If I can see some sideways consolidation, I'll probably take the next 1 minute entry here for the breakthrough 1250 and a potential ride all the way to 13. So there's the break at 12. I'd definitely be going for this high here on the 10 minute of 1243. Spreads are kind of tightening up here, which is great to see. So now it's about 10 cents. I'm gonna buy here at 1218. Seems like a lot of greens coming through. There's 1220 now. 19. 25, 28. See if we get the last 1 minute high, which is 45. 25 still. Nothing yet. No big push yet. Was surging right there for a bit, but now we're pulling back a little more. It's 12.18 again. A lot more buying coming through. I saw the tape and then I'd seen a bunch of green. I was like, okay, let's buy in. It's 23. Next 1 minute's gonna open here. Hopefully it doesn't flush on us in this last second. High, this candle's 28. As long as we can finish high here, that's looking good. So there's next one is 25. Let's see 28 again. We just need to break through 28 and we should be solid for a rip. A lot of green coming through, but no movement here is what it seems like. Might have to stop out. Definitely stopping out at 12.05 there. It's a tough day, tough one. Now it's back to 12.15. I kind of regret selling now. So I'm buying in again at 22. See that last minute push there. See if we get 22 all the way up to 45. 25, 27. This one's so choppy. Hit 27 there for half a second, then all the way back down. There's a break of 12, and so this one's just getting really, really choppy here. It's getting real frustrating for me at this point. So this second trade, I'm not really happy about this trade. I basically chased it looking for the last 1 minute high break. I bought it at 22 and I was looking for the 28 break on the 1 minute, but it obviously just couldn't hold that level. This one I wasn't so mad about, or I feel wrong in taking this trade just because I was looking for that break of the last 1 minute high and I couldn't get it. So took an early entry on it, probably a little too early of an entry. Could have bought the dip a little lower, but I expected this last 1 minute to rip, but obviously just it doesn't have it in it to rip. Really, my target was 45, so I could have just taken a quick profit at 25 or something, but instead I wanted to make a bigger move here for the break of 43 on the 5 minute high, but now it's just breaking lower. And I kind of felt in this candle that I was buying on a downtrend just because it was peaking right here, it seemed, just having a lot of struggle. And then I was like, okay, well, this next 1 minute would have to hold. If not, it's going to break lower. So I kind of felt once this candle turned red, that was kind of it. Like as soon as this one didn't break that high and I just stopped out at the bottom, I realized like I'm buying the back end already. So major losers here on this one just because of the spreads, and that's another problem that I'm having here. Is I like chasing these big spread stocks because they make such huge moves, and almost every single time I've traded these stocks so far, it's just a loser every single time. At least in these recent months, it's been a loser every single time, and not even a small one. It's been a massive one. So that's something I need to focus up on and get my discipline down, is to, taking the right entries on them, making sure I know what I'm doing prior. Just not trading them at all, really. Honestly, just not trading them at all, because clearly it's not working out for me if I do. The spreads are just too big. 40 cents to begin with. There was a 40-cent spread for a second, and there's a 20-cent spread, and then I'm trying to chase it over here. It's not gonna work. Like right there, 12.24 or something, all the way down at 11.80. Like I'd instantly be down 40 cents. It'd be so hard to bail on the ask. Like that's just gonna be so difficult. If I had a trailing stop or just a stop order in general, I mean, I get stopped out right away just because of spreads. Especially if they're 10 cents. If it already has 20-cent spreads, I'm instantly losing every time I send that order out. So this one's kind of done for me. I don't think I'm gonna trade this one. ISPO, it's also hitting the scans. If this candle can finish green, I would definitely take another trade, or I would definitely take a trade on it. I don't like the 1 minute though. The 1 minute looks pretty weak. But like I said, if this one can finish green, I think I might take a trade on it for rip through 960 and a potential rip to 975. So far, it's not looking so hot though to the upside. There's a break of the last 1 minute low. So yeah, that one looks kind of done for me too. A and B, C. There's a breakthrough 10. Another one with decent sized spreads here. Not huge, but pretty good size. Let's go to ISIG, check out what this one's doing. So now it's holding VWAP, it's holding pretty much 12. The 5 minute does not look bad for a push higher. We have a, if it can finish in this range here, we have a perfect 2 candle pullback, so a flag here for the next 1 minute to break through 1250. But it would need to finish in this range. I wouldn't want to see it break this 5 minute low. If it does though, I would need to see it pop all the way back up around 12. So 1170 to 1180, that would look nice. But we have the $0.50 and the VWAP here as support so far. So I'm liking this already. There's 97 by 79. There's a break at 12, 1210 now. I don't want to see it break this last 5 minute high. That would actually kind of suck. Because then at that point I would expect a rejection. Jesus, 95 for a second on the ask there. So there's the break of the last 5 minute high. Just what I didn't want to see. Now I feel like up here we're gonna have a rejection again. So we're back to 13. 1209 for a second. This 10 minute high is 1243 though. We're gonna get that break as well, or so like I had mentioned earlier, I should have bought the dip down here around 1160. So there's a rip, there's 48, so we did break the 10 minute high. So this was the perfect entry a long time ago. I didn't take that entry. As soon as it basically had a double bottom here, should have taken that one, but see how far we pull back here. We barely broke that high by a couple cents. So finishing pretty low here, 1218. There's a big drop all the way back down to VWAP. Not what I was expecting. So good thing I didn't buy in there for anticipation of the next 1 minute high to break. But you can see the 5 minutes is so choppy here in this little range. It's just rejecting these levels massively. So we already basically have a 1240 rejection again. It couldn't break 1250. So we have a lot of resistance up here and we have support down here. As soon as it breaks the support of 1170 and breaks down below VWAP, that's kind of it. This one's pretty much done. But we still have a higher low here, so we can still see upside potential as long as it can hold these lows here and not break the 5-minute low or something. So the next 1 minute's gonna open. See what this next 1 minute's gonna do. High of this candle's 1218. I want to get in for anticipation of the break, but we'll see what it does here. See how low it finishes or high. So open kind of low there. See if it touches VWAP and hold support, or if it's just gonna reject and break down below 1170. So far it's holding pretty good, I'd say. I'm gonna get in here at 1204 and look for the break. Well, you know what, I think I bought a terrible hand here. It's 1205, 1210 now, 15. See if we get a rip through that last 1 minute high. Last 1 minute high here is what, 1218? But I really want to see this go back to 1240. So let's see if we can get this back to 1240. It's finishing pretty high here, which I'm surprised about. So 1203, 1205, break through 12. So can we see a pop up? There's 1201, 1210. Can we see 11, 12, 15? Still breaking down. 17 now. See a 20 push. We need to break at 18. It's 25. I'm just gonna try and sell here at 25, get rid of it. It's probably gonna keep ripping higher, but just try to get rid of it. As soon as it's seen it get stuck at 25 there for a second, I was like, hesitated. And I possibly couldn't have gotten filled realistically. I mean, it's a good thing that I was able to get filled there, but it seems stuck here at 25. It did rip to 28 there for a second, but it's still, I don't know, a little iffy there. Potential next 1 minute could be an entry. It could be trading in this small range here. Let's see what it wants to do. Just because this 5 minutes still within this last 5 minute candle, we could see a break higher, if not lower. So I want to see what it's going to do in these next couple minutes. Let me go ahead and delete this horizontal line so we can really see what this wants to do. So right now what's going on is we have this forming here. Well, I can't even draw the line. And it just broke trend. Oh my god, I swear these charts suck. These charts actually suck. Okay, so it just broke trend. It's not holding its level yet. We're gonna have to wait for another 5 minute setup, it seems. Maybe even 10. But honestly, I don't think I'm gonna wait out that long. I already traded, I don't know how many times today. Clearly wasn't working the best on ISIG. I missed a big move here. Should have taken my entry, as I mentioned earlier, at 78 or whatever I said, at 80 even. You know, I really should have been the move there, but I clearly I didn't take it. This one, false break. I could have sold for a little bit of profit, but I wanted to hold just in case I stopped out and then it rips all the way through 1240. I was really thinking that this thing could break through that level, judging by how strong it was previously. And clearly it just couldn't do it. After a big drop like that, I should have known I was buying some sort of pullback before I guess trend or a downtrend, but I don't know. So here we got a uptrend and then 2 candle pullback, and then we got an inside. So it hasn't broken these highs yet. It had a false break here, so it's pulling back down now, and now it's just trending around VWAP. So it's, I don't know, I don't have too much confidence in this one to the upside anymore. It's kind of just, in my opinion, going on a downtrend as of now, but it's holding below, I guess, 12. So that's why I'm kind of like, 5-minute low here is 11.80. It's a lot closer to 11.80 by 10 cents compared to the high over here, which was 12.28. So unless this thing makes a massive rip here and can really prove its strength, then it does look good to the long side. But right now it's kind of just sideways, and I'd say it's more to the downside than it is the upside. All it needs to do is break 11.90, and then once we hit 80, I think that's where it's gonna dip below to VWAP, possibly bounce back up. If not, it's gonna break down below VWAP, and that's where it's gonna start its major downtrend. But let's see what it wants to do here in this next couple of minutes. We can actually kind of readjust the trend line here. If I can even click it. Jesus. So there's a break higher. Now it's breaking out. See if we get a, what is it called? A rejection here. So nice breakout there. I was completely wrong. All the way to 1240. It's a huge seller stack to 1241 already. Hidden seller, it seems at 1238. Once this breaks 1241, I think it can rip. Yeah, there's 1250, 1260. So missed a massive move here. It's 1260 now. Now this thing's starting to take off. So I wasn't going to stick around, but now I'm going to stick around a little longer. It's 1290 for a second. See if we get a 1-minute pullback here. Micro pullback, not quite. I missed my opportunity for an entry at 1270. Break at 13 there, down below 13 again. 1270 on the bid. So I completely misread that move there entirely. There's a break to 13 again. It's having a hard time holding above 13 though. So now we're back above 13. $13.20 now, $13.30. So missed two massive moves here. Completely misread this one and just didn't get my entry here at 1280. So missed two massive moves. I don't want to chase it up here, so I'd wait for a pullback if anything. Could buy the dip, but I'm not looking to buy dips at this point. Could be a potential 2-minute pullback before the next 5-minute opens, so we'll wait for that. Could be something like what we'd seen earlier, but let's see what this wants to do. If this just rips through this last 1-minute high, then it's going to do the exact same thing it did back here. So there's a rip through the high, but the difference between what happened back here and this move is that this one actually has a lot of strength to it. This one just started out. So let's see, do we get an inside candle in this next 1 minute? Nope, instead of it's an immediate rip through the last 1-minute high. Kind of a flash really right through that last 1-minute high, and now a rip to 14. So again, no pullback yet, just straight rips all the way. Now it's getting halted is what it seems like. Nope, false halts. I think the halt level moved there. If not, it's just glitched out on my system here. So yeah, now it moved to 45. I definitely wouldn't be buying this high. It's already too extended for me to take an entry. I could get in for this next 5-minute high break, 42. But the ask is still really high up here at 1437, 1430. I need a pullback on it. The halt level moves, I for sure buy it. Buying there at 12. Definitely got in way too soon. There's 19. Can we see a break? This last 1-minute high is 24. selling there at 19 if I can. Nope, couldn't stop out. Now I have to bail out of my trade entirely. So that actually just ruined my entire entire trade there. What a huge waste. So I don't know. Tried it. I saw it held 14 there and decided to take an entry. Kind of felt I was buying the back end already because of how extended it was, waiting for the pullback. But I had a little faith that since it was holding 14 in this last 1 minute, that we could actually see a quick pop to 1450, break this last 5-minute high since it was so close, and see a last minute rip. But clearly that just didn't happen. And that actually just ruined my entire day there. So 20, 40, this is like a 60-cent loser. That's definitely over $150 loss there, just on a gamble practically. Really, I was looking for that last 1 minute high break, or just overall the 5-minute high break because it just opened. That's what I was waiting for. But that clearly couldn't happen. So I guess after today, I'm learning that I shouldn't be taking these trades on such volatile stocks or stocks with such huge spreads, at least in this price range. You know, it's not worth it. Look what it's doing in my account here. So what did I finish down today? $300. Totally unnecessary to finish this low on the day. I mean, it was a risky trade. I knew it was a risky trade, and I just decided to take the gamble. But with the small account, I mean, it's not worth it. Like, I'd be losing every time. It's just not. It's been consistent losers every single time I take trades like this, you know, with big spreads, too volatile for me or whatever. It's cool, like, yeah, I'll be up, let's just say 20, 40 cents at one time, and then, I'll sell, I'll get a little thrill out of it or whatever. But realistically, this is what it's doing to the account. And I think that's how I lost my other account, you know, the live account. Just taking gambles like this, catching these rips or buying the back end of the move primarily. Obviously, I was waiting for a pullback, and then I was like, I'm not going to buy this, and then next thing you know, I buy in looking for an even higher break, which was just risky in general. And now look what it's doing. So I clearly bought the back end. I missed all these moves, and I was just telling myself, hey, like, you missed this one, you missed this one, like, it's ripping without you. The last one, you know, it's a small pullback. I'll buy the dip, right? It's holding 14 support, but it's clearly just so extended. It wasn't the smart move to do in general, but I don't know. I took it anyways. Thought I could make that last minute rip. It's happened to me before, you know, where I got lucky, but those times where it does happen are just very rare. Like, it's not common in which those moves happen for me, it seems, because every single time, as I mentioned, that I take trades like this, it's just back-to-back losers. Really, I was looking for the rip prior. So I was looking for a big push here, but I wasn't looking for a 14 push or anything. I was just looking for a break of 1250 here. And that would have been, you know, I would have been good with that. Clearly couldn't do it. You know, it was already after it made this big move here. So I was buying the back end. Then it consolidates, it starts curling here, tests it again, consolidates, tests it again, consolidates, and then finally we get that huge rip. So in hindsight, now that I'm looking at it, obviously we can see that it tested this level multiple times. It took a while, but it finally broke through that level. And I completely misread the chart here. I drew my trend line and everything down here at the bottom. So I thought it was going to break lower here, but after I readjusted the trend line, once it broke this trend here, I realized, like, oh shoot, as soon as I adjusted it, that's when it started ripping. And that's where I was like, I completely missed my entry and completely misread the chart. Yes, I could have bought into the rip anytime here, but once I'd seen that it popped to 1250, I didn't feel so confident, just because back here it hit it 4 different times, and it just rejected that level. So that's why I didn't want to take an entry all the way up here. By the time I got up to this last count, I was like, it's so extended, I can't even get in. Need to wait for a pullback. You know, got my pullback, my micro pullback, and then it just flopped. Like the trading just flopped entirely. I tried to stop out with a small profit. I was in at 14.12. Tried to get it at 14.19, but I couldn't get out fast enough. I was just a slow exit. I was trying to sell in the ask, looking for a last minute pop, and it didn't give it to me. So when I seen it tank below all the way to 13.80. That's when I had to press the bid, and next thing you know, I'm filled at 1367 from how whippy this one is. So as I mentioned earlier, completely unnecessary loss on this one. I really didn't need to take this loss. These trades back here weren't too bad. I think the initial trade I had on it, I think I had the right idea, but just didn't work out for me. And this, this second trade, I don't think it was a good one at all. I should have noticed that it was starting to kind of flag to the downside. So, that wasn't necessarily the best trade. I was looking for this last 1 minute high and didn't get it. So, stopped out there with a loss. But this trade, I was expecting a rip on this candle here. I did get the rip, not that I wanted, but I did get a rip on it. And that was a successful trade. But overall, I guess I was just waiting for this big move to happen back here, this at least on this candle. So it kind of sucks to know that I missed that whole ride up. It seems almost every time I'm missing these moves here. And then after seeing that I missed all these moves, that's where it started really building up on me here emotionally, like, oh, I want to take it here, I want to get in here. I missed it. And then now I took it back here, and this is what happened. So really got to understand what's going on, I guess, emotionally, with where I'm at in the trade, just understanding the trade in general, the pattern, what I'm doing. Am I buying the back? Is this thing going to rip into a halt? I guess that's another thing that provoked me to take the trade up here, was the halt levels there at 45. I felt if it can tap 45, if it held above 14, I'd buy the dip around 14, as long as it can hold, break above, potentially hit its halt level, false halt, and then rip higher through 1450, and then get that big move back to its halt level, and then a massive flush. That's kind of what I was expecting, but this thing just didn't have the strength to push higher, I guess. So I missed the whole move, and that's kind of it, I guess. So anyway, it's gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna finish down 298, really just $300, and I guess that's a lesson learned. We're not gonna be trading these kinds of stocks anymore. If they're just too big of spreads, I'm not even gonna bother with them. I'd say 5 cents is the most I'd want to trade now, in terms of volatility, or just spread size in general. But one like this, where it had 40-cent spreads at one point, 20 cents most commonly, and then 10 cents as well. I don't think I can be taking these trades anymore, because they're just not working. I haven't learned how to trade these yet, and for a small account to do some damage like that, it's not worth it. Like, it's really not. So anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more trades.